Brexit may shrink the economy by a small margin, but it will actually bolster our disposable income, as house prices will plummet. Keep watching to find out how our disposable incomes may increase by as much as 27%. Hey guys, it's me, Base Libertarian, and it's good to have you back. By now, you've probably seen lots of news headlines that describe Brexit to be a disaster to the British economy. I don't know about you, but I am pretty fed up of this globalist propaganda that revolves around GDP, rather than investigating the damage caused by a decade of austerity, or maybe the financial system we have that is completely rigged in favour of the elites. But when I looked at various economic effects of Brexit, I found that the average person will actually be better off because of lower house prices. Yes, that's right, lower house prices is good. If you've seen the thumbnail to this video, you may think that landlords and property owners are very displeased at Brexit, and they are. Even the academic agent, who is one of my favourite YouTubers on the distant right, voted against Brexit, because he owned property and he just wanted to increase his profits, even though he is otherwise very anti-EU. I question the distorted lens that the media has on housing, because they don't consider for a second that maybe a house is supposed to be a home for a family to move in, to live, at a relatively affordable price, not a security asset for bankers to speculate on, with an unaffordable price. Don't get me wrong, I like foreign investment, but not malinvestment. The study we will look at today will be called The Macroeconomic Impact of Brexit, using the CBR macroeconomic model of the UK economy. The abstract says, and I quote, "In a milder Brexit scenario, there is a 2% loss of GDP by 2025, but a little loss of GDP per capita, and also less unemployment but more inflation. In the more severe Treasury-based scenario, the loss of GDP is nearer 5%, 2% for per capita GDP. Inflation is higher and the advantage in unemployment less. From my understanding, the economy will be a tiny bit smaller, but with less people migrating, it's not a problem as there's plenty of wealth to go around. Think of it this way, GDP could be a lot higher if we turned the countryside into a giant megacity, but that doesn't enrich our lives on an individual level." On chart 18 on this study, we can see how house prices skyrocket without Brexit happening, and how house prices are stagnant with Brexit, and a hard Brexit causes a very steep decline in house prices. Just to be clear, what is measured is mean house prices as a multiple of disposable income, not a percentage as it says there. I think that's a mistake. So any possible decline in disposable income would be factored into account. I'll read to you a passage on the study. Housing markets play an important role in economic cycles in the UK. The market has been unbalanced for many years, and the ratio of house prices to household disposable incomes is close to double the pre-crisis average. We had expected this ratio to become even more extreme, but in the Brexit scenarios, lower demand for housing due to reduced migration causes the ratio to decline from 2019, chart 18. I agree with the text that I just read, but I also think that maybe reduced foreign capital might have something to do with it. But what about GDP? About the GDP stuff, the paper says our general view is that the slowdown in growth is due to credit conditions in a post-crisis world with a badly impaired banking system. Perverse government austerity programs in major economies have exacerbated the situation, but the main cause is financial. Even in this paper, the authors are admitting that Brexit isn't the reason as to why the British economy is crap. It's everything else I have been talking about 1,000 times on my channel. If you don't believe me, look at my other videos. There is a graph modelling unemployment here, which basically shows what we would expect from having less migration. There's also a consumer price index graph that shows prices are slightly higher with Brexit, but personally, I wouldn't want the social fabric of my society to be destroyed by rampant immigration just to get cheaper bananas, and I wonder if the EU is strict on fossil fuels, because that would impact inflation like we see now. Another thing about the house prices, it's really pathetic how articles are plastered all over the web, like this one from the Daily Mail talking about a possible recession. I'll read a passage. House prices could fall by as much as 30% over the next 4 years, it's predicted today. That could wipe out all increases brought by the buying boom since April last year. The thousands of buyers currently risking 100% mortgages and borrowing up to 5 times their salary could be plunged deep into negative equity. Oh no, you're hurting my profits. Fuck off. Maybe stop making our homes so bloody expensive. Anyway, as promised, I'll show my spreadsheet that proves that your disposable income will increase by a very large amount with Brexit, either by a soft Brexit or even a hard Brexit. Alrighty, here's my spreadsheet and I'll explain to you what is going on. So at the beginning I have a column called median income after income taxes, and this number is multiplied by an income multiplier. And I have another column called monthly house prices that takes into account a multiplier that's down here. And multiplying it by 12, I get the annual house price. And I'll multiply that by a multiplier based on how much Brexit affects house prices. And Remain, of course. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to exaggerate the effects on Brexit to reflect what the economy will be like by 2025. If you look at this graph which I showed before, which shows median house prices in proportion to household disposable income, you'll see that as time goes by, the effects of Brexit get bigger and bigger. And ultimately, if you subtract that from the median income after taxes, we'll get a figure here that would be disposable income. And then, just to give you some sort of a measure of relativity, I have compared that as a percentage to what would happen if we just remained. Now, this row in yellow, that is our Brexit row. I've highlighted it as a yellow because Brexit is what we have now. And obviously below we have hard Brexit, which we don't have. And we have Remain, which obviously we voted against. Okay, so here's how it works. Median income in 2021 is £31,400. And if you plug that into an income tax calculator, the take-home income is £25,000. Now, the monthly house price in 2021, according to Statista, is £759. And multiply that by 12, we get this number, 9,108. And the house price as a multiple of the Brexit house price is 1 in this case. Now, according to the graph I showed here, the multiplier for Remain would be 1.25, and the multiplier for hard Brexit is 0.8125. And if we multiply that against the annual house price, we'll get our annual cost of a house in 2025, because we want to exaggerate the effects of Brexit. And of course, subtract the numbers and we get disposable income. Now right here, we see that compared to remaining, the percentage of disposable income is 116%. And with a hard Brexit, we get 129%. Incredible. James, but you're assuming that the income is the same with or without Brexit. Don't you know that incomes would be higher if we remained rather than left? And surely with a hard Brexit, incomes would be much less, right? Okay, I'll take that into account. You know what? There you go, I'll add a 5% modifier on there. And with a hard Brexit, I'll have a negative 5% multiplier. But you know what? That means I have to change the house prices too. Because, you know, remaining or Brexit or hard Brexit, that would change the house prices, right? Okay. Well, according to a couple of graphs that I looked at, within the European Union, average house prices increased 33% from 2016 to 2022, yet the average monthly household price from 2016 to 2022 increased by 15% in the United Kingdom. Now, if you divide the multiplier of the EU increase over the UK increase, we have a difference of 15%. So that's why I'm going to add a 15% multiplier on there. And of course, with Brexit, we'll keep it the same because, you know, we've had Brexit. And with a hard Brexit, I'm going to be kind and conservative and add a negative 5% multiplier on house prices. And, oh look, what's happened? Well, the disposable income in a Remain Britain is £13,157. In a Brexit Britain, we have 15,892. And with a hard Brexit, our disposable income is £16,719. And as a percentage compared to a Remain UK, Brexit gives us a 120% increase. Well, the disposable income is 120% of that if we remained, and 127% compared to that if we remained. Yeah, that's right. Even if we had a reduced income because of Brexit or hard Brexit, we have significantly more disposable income because house prices plummet, which means that our housing costs are much more affordable. We have more disposable income. I know, I couldn't believe it when I figured it out too, but it's insane how everybody in the financial media and all of the institutions and academia, we've completely have not noticed this whatsoever. They think that it's good for the economy to have higher house prices, but they don't realise that the politicians who say that house prices plummeting is bad, well, most of them, according to statistics, are landlords themselves.
Not only are they changing language, look at this. 123 MPs are landlords. Tories, Labour, Lib Dems, SNP, they've all got skin in the game.
Oh, and one more thing. I know some people who are Remainers are going to watch this and say, "Oh, James, you made too many assumptions, you're being unfair." But guess what? Even if the income that we have in 2021 is 10% higher than what it is right now, and even if with a hard Brexit, our income after taxes is 10% lower, well, with a standard Brexit, we would have 10% more income, disposable income, and with a hard Brexit, we would have 7% more disposable income. So it doesn't matter what you do, you can fiddle around with these numbers all you want, but as long as you can see that house prices are going to plummet if Brexit were to happen, or a hard Brexit, well, there's going to be more disposable income, no matter what you do, unless if you increase this income multiplier to like something ridiculous, like, I don't know, like a 30% increase in income, which, well, is just a bullshit number. Anyway, peace out, and yeah, bye.